Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to a brand new League Racing video today. We are back with PSGL round 3, but also with round 4. And you will see later on in this video why we've got 2 rounds in one video. But now we are gonna just finish our lap here in Q1 in Inters. And we actually got good pace in Inters again, because as you can see there, we were top of the standings in intermediate conditions, so it's good that we managed to get back in form in intermediate conditions after our Q1 exit in USA. Now, the championship has been reset after the last race, which was USA, because the cars apparently did not have equal tire wear in the first 2 rounds, so that's why the standings have been reset, and that's also why we're using the F1 World Car at the moment, and why we're not running our usual liveries. So this is going to be fixed for the future, of course, but if you're wondering why we are using the F1 World Car, this is why. And we're in Q2, or actually sorry, Q3 already. We pretty comfortably made it through all the qualifying sessions, and our first lap here was not great, not gonna lie. We were 1.4 tenths away from pole position. And as we head into Q3 here, we are looking to improve a lot, as my previous lap was just not very good. But as we go into turn 1, my brake pedal snapped in half, and then my entire brake pedal in half. Even though I tried desperately to fix it in time, there was only like 4 minutes for me to change the entire pedal set. And for the people who have Fanatec pedals, know how much of a pain it is to get them on and off. Of course, if it was a Huizinga pedal, it was very simple to just take it off and put it back on. But it's just, you have to take off the entire pedal set. I just didn't have enough time, so I had to retire. Unfortunately, we didn't get to start the race, and we had 0 points. Jake won eventually after going out in Q1, so that is crazy. Now, on to round 4, which is actually round 2 of the championship of PSGL. We are 16 points behind Jake. I think Barry finished in 2nd, so we're 12 points behind Barry. And yeah, we have to make up some points after round 1. So, as you can see, again, intermediate conditions here in Q1. And the track was just drying up. So, I was P1 in our first run, and we had to go out again on a new set of tires. So I put on a new set of tires, and you can see we're a little bit low on ERS, as I did 2 push laps in a row, and that meant I had to turn down the ERS in this middle section to recharge the battery, which cost us a bit of time, of course. But yeah, because the F1 game has only come out 1 month ago, and I've been grinding so hard, I've not been able to test wet weather conditions yet. So I just want to do laps. This is just wet weather practice, and just trying to figure out what the fastest way to drive is in wet conditions. I've got no wet setup on, it's just our dry setup, as Parfum is off these days in PSGL and WR, simply because that's also how F1 Esports is run. And honestly, I think that's better. It's better like this, as this way it really shows and helps the people who've prepared well in wet conditions or other conditions, and we have not done that. But still, we did really well. I think we ended up in P4. As you can see there, end of Q1, Danny Moreno, Thomas Ronner, Brendan Lee, and 2 others went out. I couldn't see it in time of Q1 there. So, yeah, quite happy with our Q1 intermediate pace. We were, I think, 2 tenths off Lucas. We lost that 2 tenths in the middle sector where we had no ERS. So, yeah, I think we were pretty much on his pace. Now, on to Q2 we go. The start of Q2 was wet, so I did a lap on intermediates, and then I decided to stay in and only go for 1 final run, but the track had dried up just in time for 2 runs. So we've missed out a little bit here, and we've put a lot of pressure on ourselves by only doing 1 run. And yeah, that was not the best planning ever, not gonna lie. But yeah, at least it's good preparation for F1 Esports. 1 lap it is here at the end of Q2, and we have to deliver instantly. It's the same for our teammate Marcel Kiefer, and into the final sector we are purple, sector 1, sector 2. Now, can we get a good exit of the final corner? We can. And now it's just being smooth on the steering wheel, opening the DRS as soon as we can, and take a short line to the finish line to finish off this lap. And we go P1 by over half a tenth. Now the track is improving, of course, because it was not raining, but it was still wet at the start of this session, and we managed to go through in P5. Our teammates Jake Benham and Marcel Kiefer did not make it through. Danny Bresnay, our other teammate, did make it through in P3. It wasn't a great lap, of course. It was clean. And honestly, this is exactly what I've been looking for last year in F1 22. Just doing a clean lap and going through. Whereas last year I felt like I had to nail a lap to get into Q3. I had to be peak performance. And now I'm just, you know, not completely on the limit, making small mistakes, but as long as it's clean, I'm going through. And that's exactly, it gives so much confidence, you know, when you go so easily through into Q3, it makes life so easy. And it takes so much pressure away. And yeah, it's just living life. Now, first lap in Q3 here, we've got enough sets of tires to go for 2 new tire runs. We ended up in P5 after that first run. Some people went for 3 laps. But again, I wanted to really prepare my tires well before starting my push lap. And through turn 1, 2, we have gained a little bit of time, I think so. Or we're pretty much equal. It's hard to say at this time, but into sector 2 we go. It's not been a great first sector on the line. Missed the apex there a little bit, and that cost us a bit of minimum speed. So overall, I think we've already lost a tenth, to be honest, in this lap. It hasn't been very good. Through the fast right-hander we go. No big improvements just yet. A little bit wide, a little bit of hesitation on entry, a little bit of a moment on the exit there. And we're absolutely flooring it on the exit there. Now Lucas Blakely goes to provisional pole position on the exit here. A little bit of a time gain, 8 thousandths of a second up. Now can we gain time in the final corner? Down to 4th gear we go. Good rotation, early on power, and we have gained a bit of time. We are 400ths up, but it's not going to be enough for pole position, as Barry Borman goes to pole position with a 106.886. And it is only going to be P7 for us, unfortunately. Just not a good lap. Lost time in turn 1, 2, and 4, and that was lap over, basically. Now, Brazil is never been a strong track for me in qualifying. Even though I think I've always made Q3, I've never really been able to really be on top of it in Q3. And it shows again. Now, for the strategy, you can see dry race. We are going for soft medium, and we're going to try and create as much track position as possible in these opening few laps. You can see a lot of people in hards and mediums ahead of us, and that's going to give us a huge advantage in these few opening laps. Off the line we go. It's not been a great getaway of the line, and it seems to be the case this year that you can't really gain that much of the line on softer tires, but it's just the lateral grip where you can gain a lot. Now into turn 2 we go around the outside of Tomac through turn 3, and we're gonna get 1 position here on Tomac, and we've got Shanaka right ahead of us on mediums, and then Lucas on hards. Now our teammate Danny Bresnay, same strategy as us on the softs, and then we've got Fabricio Donoso leading on softs as well, with Barry Borman behind them on hards. So ideally we get past the harder tire runners straight away here, and that way we can maybe hook up to the back of Danny Bresnay and Fabricio Donoso. And yeah, that way we get loads of track position. Shanaka goes for a little move down the inside there, but couldn't quite pull it off. I decided, you know what, I'm gonna have a little look here, and the dirty air did me dirty there. But yeah, we got another opportunity coming up here into turn 1 perhaps, where a bit of slipstream. Now Shanaka's lagging a little bit, and that scared me a lot. As you can see there, warning collision with Shanaka. Now I had the similar incident with Barry, of course, in Barcelona. As I'm trying to go around the outside of Lucas here, gives us the space, and that's just beautiful racing. Absolutely so close wheel to wheel. And yeah, that's just how racing should be. And into turn 4 we go. We're going to have another opportunity into the middle sector because we have so much more grip. Lucas with a snap of oversteer on the exit there, and I decided to go for it around the outside in turn 6. Little bit of a touch. We've got more momentum now around the outside and into P4 we go. Now Barry up next on hards, and then there's Danny Bresnay on the softs there. Now, ideally I wanted to get Barry into this next right-hander, but just not close enough, didn't have the grip in the dirty air, and now we're gonna have to wait until the straight. Now Danny is pushing quite hard ahead as well with his ERS to try and stay in the DRS zone, Fabrizio Donoso, and we want the exact same but from Danny. So we're gonna turn on the overtake button again, but we don't have a lot of juice in that battery left, not gonna lie, and somehow we're gonna have to gain 1.5 seconds to Danny Bresnay in the next few laps in order to get back into his DRS. And in the meantime, Danny's also getting DRS from Fabrizio Donoso. So this is not going to be an easy task, and this is going to be really, really hard. We're on 0% battery, it's completely drained, and we somehow still need to gain 5 tenths to get into Danny Bresnay's DRS, and Danny is really fast, so this is not going to be easy. But yeah, let's try anyway. We're going to absolutely push it to the limit, but as you can see, they're halfway into lap 6. And we've gained time to Fab, but we've lost time to Danny Bresnay, and I lost, I think, 4 tenths this lap alone because I stopped using my battery. Now, I did get to 1.1 seconds at some point, but yeah, no battery left. You can hear me say, I'm letting Barry go this lap, simply because I need to recharge my battery.
I'll let Barry go because I can't catch.
And yeah, our tires are done as well, so I'm not going to use my battery here on the exit. And if Barry wants to get past, he gets past. So that way we can get a DRS again. Now I'm gonna leave either the inside or the outside open. I decided to go to the inside.
Oh no, head down.
And unfortunately, Lucas goes around the outside as well. As Marcel had an incident, I think so, with someone. And into turn 2, I decided to let Lucas go because he was just slightly further ahead. Now, straight away, Tom Manley on the attack on the mediums. And I decided to defend. I squeezed him a little bit too much there, I think so. Down the inside we go. And once again, on the outside, he got bottomed out a little bit on the curb there, but in the end, he got ahead. And looking back at it, maybe I shouldn't have fought it that hard, but yeah, now we're gonna have to recharge our battery because we've been basically without battery for the past 5 laps, more or less. And yeah, I think at the moment we are fighting losing fights with 3 positions lost. And if Shanika goes for a move into turn 1, I'm not going to fight it too hard, simply because I need my battery later on and my tires are starting to drop off. Now Danny Bresnay and Fabrizio Donoso have the same issue. And yeah, we are going onto the harder compound later on. So we are aiming for track position with the strategy. Didn't really manage to do that really well.
Danny's had the same.
But yeah, it is what it is. Didn't have the greatest opening laps. Had to use a lot of battery to get to my track position. And yeah, Shanaka there going around the outside with a big slide as he just locked the rears a little bit there in turn 1. Now we get DRS, but you can see he's flashing. He's actually lower on ERS than us.
Oh my god.
As he lags back a little bit. But I decided not to go for the move because, again, our tires are only going to starting to drop off more. So I was like, you know what, we can fight later on in this race. We need to save our battery at this point and play it smart, play the long game, and we will get them later on in the race. So at this point, just saving tires a little bit. I knew that the hard runners would catch up to Danny Bresnay and Fabrizio Donoso, which actually they have already done. So eventually we're not going to end up too far behind Fabrizio and Danny Bresnay, even though they are 4 positions further up. Now Tom Manley boxing.
Jake boxing this lap from 3 positions behind.
Oh, that's just so not smart, guys. He told me that last lap.
Now, the reason I said it was not so smart was because Tom Manley was boxing right ahead of me and Jake was boxing right behind me when I saw Tom Manley boxing his teammate in the game right ahead of me. So Jake lost basically 5 seconds because he had to double stack in the pits. And if you lose 5 seconds in a race that is this close, it's pretty much over. Especially because Jake was out in Q2, and had to start in P11. He did get a pretty good start, gained some positions, but now he's lost 5 seconds. And
First one to his.
Yep, copy. Jake also got held.
From Tom.
And as you could hear say there, he got held by Tom. Now we're going to box for a new set of mediums on this lap. The rest continues. The leader for Bici Donoso is boxing as well. And you can see he was locking up big time there. I think he lost a bit of time there. And that's good for us because we want to come out as close behind as Fabrizio as possible, because he was basically leading. And he is going to be leading because we're going to get such a big undercut. Of course, tire wear is pretty aggressive on this game, or at least the tire drop-off is pretty aggressive, which means we're also going to get a big undercut, and that means we're going to gain track position on this lap. So we are pushing it here. Tom Manley coming out ahead of us, of course, but he is boxed for hards, and we've gone for mediums. Now, 22 laps on the mediums is quite a stretch, of course, but I wanted to track position. Usually we always go long, and now I want to try the opposite and see how that would go. I think when it comes down to strategy, it's always hard to say what is gonna be the correct one. If you go long, middle, or short. We've gone short now, and we're gonna have to wait until the end to see if it's gonna work, because it also depends on what happens in the rest of the grid, you know? What other drivers are gonna do strategy-wise, and it's just such a huge butterfly effect that you never know what strategy is gonna be the correct one. The only thing you can control is your own pace and your own decisions. So that's what we're going to focus on from here on, and we're going to try and get the maximum out of it. Now Fab is going for the move on Tom Manley, who is on hards and is obviously slower. Now our tires have just warmed up probably, and you can see there Daniel Bresney boxing as well for the mediums, or in real life teammate, not in-game teammate, going for the same strategy as us, but with 1 lap fresher tires on the mediums. Now he's lost quite a bit of time. He's coming out behind us, but that tire wear is going to be a huge advantage for him. Because of course doing 22 laps on a set of mediums is tricky, and in that last lap it might give you a big advantage. Now Tom Manley flashing. I'm not sure why he was defending so hard into turn 4, because I turned on my overtake button, and now he's flashing. We are definitely going to get past him into turn 1. So yeah, good for us. Easy pass coming up once we exit the final corner. Fab pulling a gap as well towards him, and yeah, we're gonna, by now we've definitely undercut all the people that were ahead of us. So that means Barry Bormand, Lucas Blakely, Shanika Clay, and yeah, that's exactly what our aim was here. Now they are on the hards, of course. They could box for mediums, but that wouldn't be the fastest strategy, of course, for them. So they are going another 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 laps more, and then go on for the mediums, and that will be much easier for them, but they're just gonna have to overtake so many more cars, and that is the disadvantage, of course, of that strategy where you go longer, which I really like to do, but today we're just playing it a bit different, you know. Again, Brazil is S2 DRS zone, so it does help with overtaking, but if there's a DRS train, then you've got no advantage of that again. So it's so hard to know what's going to be right. Every year it's different. Every track is different. And at the moment I'm just chilling behind Fab, recharging my battery. And yeah, there's just no point in fighting each other too hard at the moment. So Daniel Moreno boxing from softs, I think so, or he's going on to softs. Anyway, he was out in Q1, so he is really far behind us. Probably not going to be a threat in this race for us. And yeah, our main targets here are Lucas Blakely and Barry Borman. Tomek Poratsis right behind Lucas as well in P3 on the hards. Now we overtook him at the start, and he might be a threat later on in this race as well. Again, depends how his race go and how his fight through the field goes. So yeah, at the moment just saving a little bit of tires, and we're gonna fight a hard fight, I think so, later on. Lap 30 here, Barry boxed at the end of lap 21. Lucas boxed at the end of lap 20, if I remember correctly. Tomek had an incident. And we've got Danny Bresnay right behind us on fresher tires. Now, just a bit of my battery there to close up to Fabricio now. So we're going for the move here. 6 laps to go at the end of this lap. And Danny Bresnay is going for it as well. And I'm defending for him. So he has the inside and can get into P2. Now, that was my main aim here, to get Danny into P2. And now we can fight together for the win. Now we're gonna play it smart. We're not gonna fight here yet for the win. Danny went for a move here in order to defend. Now I used my ERS into turn 4 again to defend from Fabricio and not from Danny. So again, Danny backed out there, so we didn't have to go side by side through here. And again, you can see him having a little look, but he's not actually going for moves. We're just going sometimes side by side to fend off Fabricio behind and make ourselves as wide as possible. So we might fight for the win in the last lap, but at the moment we know we want to be in P1 and P2, because that's always the positions you want to be in if you want to win a race. Now, lap 34 here, Danny and Barry having a little bit of a moment there, a little bit of an incident, and Danny has lost 2 positions. Now I'm in big trouble, because you can see we have 50% ERS, Barry right behind us. Barry boxed at the end of lap 21, we boxed at the end of lap 14. He's got 7 lap fresher tires. Lucas has 6 lap fresher tires. Our tires are starting to fall off a cliff here in the next 2 laps. And we are going to have to perform a miracle to keep Barry behind. And Lucas maybe as well. And this is exactly not what we wanted. We hoped that Barry and Lucas would eventually stall their progress in the traffic, but that did not happen. And now we've got 2 laps to go, where we somehow have to keep these tires alive and keep Barry Borman and Lucas Blakely behind. We will not have DRS here. Barry will, Lucas will, and Danny Bresnay as well, of course. Now, you can see how much Danny and Fabricio have struggled with those tire drop-offs, and we are going to be struggling as well in this middle sector that's so slow and is so reliant on mechanical grip. Now, DRS again for Barry, and he's playing it smart, of course. He's not going for a move just yet. He knows that I'm in trouble in the middle sector, as there's a yellow flag as well, so Barry could not go for a move even if he wanted. Because that was the car of Danny Moreno, who retired in the pits, but his car drove back on track by the AI. So, middle sector here. This is an important one. We somehow have to keep good pace and stay ahead. Now, Barry won't go for a move here in the middle sector. He's going to be patient and wait for the DRS zone, of course. And I'm just pushing as hard as I can in order to create as big of a gap as I can, which I can't really do because my tires are so old. However, the balance of the car is still nice. The front end is biting. It's just overall performance is not quite there. Now, I've turned on the overtake button. Barry is going to do the same for sure. He's going to open the DRS right here. And the question is, do we have enough of a gap to keep him behind into turn 1? We're going to go defensive and make sure he's going to choose the outside line. Got a little bit of marbles on our tire on the right. However, we managed to get the apex and stay ahead. But it's not over just yet. You can see there, Barry is going to get DRS once more. And we're out of ERS into turn 4. I'm going to have to go defensive once again. And into turn 4, we're going to just about stay ahead. I'm a little bit deep on the brakes. I have to cover off the switchback. I don't quite manage to do it. And now we just going to nudge ahead into P1. And we somehow have managed to survive into the middle sector. However, there's going to be one more DRS zone. And the question is now, can we stay ahead in the run to the line after the final corner? And if we can do that, we will win the race. But the question is, can we? How much ERS does Barry have left? You can see our rear tires do not have any grip left to get on the power. Into the final corner we go. Exit is going to be so important through here. Trying to get the power down. Barry is right behind us, and he's going to get the DRS down the line. We don't have any battery left, only 1% left, and Barry has the DRS. He's going to go around the outside, and he just about finishes ahead, unfortunately. And I must say, very disappointed we didn't win, but what a last lap. What a last 2 laps. Every single wheel-to-wheel battle we had was amazing. It was great. It was super clean. No real contact throughout the race. I must say, respect to every driver we've raced. Respect to Barry for that last lap. It was all super clean. And yeah, nothing more to say. Disappointed we didn't win, but we will try next time out. Now, I will miss the next race in Las Vegas, but we will be back for the race after. I think it's Mexico, maybe, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure. But yeah, unfortunately, we'll miss Las Vegas, but we will be back the round after to try and close the gap in the championship and try to win again in PSGL. Make sure to like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Ciao.